I never want to think I'm some like know-it-all, like, I have all the answers and everything. Like, I love learning from people. I love to also share knowledge as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think any knowledge should be like, I don't think I'm friends with anybody that's like gatekeepers of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up, you know?
This is the Behind the Sound podcast, where we talk to producers, engineers, artists, and other creatives alike. Hosted by Sean Gray and Manik.
How's your day today?
I mean, it was good.
Oh,
Yeah, it was just like really focusing on like the podcast and
nice. What do you have to do to prep for like something like this?
well, like the way the room is laid out now is just like, I try to make it more like a podcasty kind of thing. So like we don't have like a dedicated room to like do this. And
It is nice in here.
yeah, like
It's
sometimes we're in Studio A just because someone has a session in here. So like we have to kind of be mobile. So, but I still want that kind of, openness and feel, and make it feel like, you're just kind of sitting at home.
That's
and, like
right.
having this conversation versus like, this super like corporate kind of setting, it's just
the
like
couches.
it's definitely the movie theater couches.
Yeah.
But so like it's just getting like the room ready, trying to set the vibe, and then like it's really more about like how can we frame this conversation to provide the most value to, the listener, right? And also by showcasing, our guest and making sure that, their story is being told, and that we get to really highlight them. So, that's kind of like my whole approach in like in preparation of each podcast. So I try to like be really calculated about, how, we're going to do this. And it's kind of different for me today because I'm riding solo and like I don't have Manik here to help.
Yeah. But he's not here right now.
But he's not. It's not fucking here right now. It's like it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for us. So but my friend Madhouse in the building, fucking goat,
man.
One of my good friends.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
to the podcast.
Thank you so much, man. I'm very very excited to be here. It's my first podcast ever. That was a very natural transition that we just did. That's very wow. This guy's been doing it for some time now. Shit.
We're getting a little bit better. But yeah, okay, so
we're here.
Why don't you tell our listeners who you are, what you do, and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, my name is Madhouse. I write songs, I sing songs, I produce. I've been a musician since a child, and this is just a continuation of that journey.
I like that.
Thanks.
I like that answer. So I feel like we have so much to talk about, but I don't know where to start. I think what we should do is go back.
Oh, okay.
Take me to when you were a kid.
Okay.
This young musician.
Okay, wow. Okay, so I grew up in a very musical family, I grew up with a single mother, and my mom used to teach piano in Japan. Okay. And she learned how to teach in Japan, and then she like taught in Japan as well. And I was born in the 90s, so we moved out to St. Catharines when I was 1. And my mom had a music store and a music school. And she just kind of went out on a whim there, like Yamaha gave her a store. Like they gave her, she was an exclusive piano dealer for Yamaha. They put faith in her because they knew like, she already like worked with Yamaha in the past, selling pianos, and they really believed in her. And so yeah, I was really exposed to music at a really young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you play piano?
Yeah. I play piano. That was the first thing I learned. Yeah.
She taught you how to play piano?
Now here's where the memory gets hazy. It's like I don't remember how it started. I'm told I just kind of like started pressing the keys, and then Mama took a few cute photos, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, I'm in lessons. So I really don't remember.
Right.
I don't remember, but I had a teacher when I was 3. My mom was like always like coaching me on the side, like practicing with me.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember my first piano teacher, you know, and I was taking piano lessons in Niagara Falls. I was about 3, turning 4, and I started playing in these like piano competitions.
Okay. Damn, you
And
were at it really young.
I was at a very young,
Holy.
yeah, and I was at these competitions, and I remember the first time I did these competitions. It was in a church, and um, I don't remember the song I played, but there was about like 12 kids, and okay, that was the first time I competed, right, in anything.
Yeah.
And I got a participation medal, and I still remember that feeling of getting that participation medal and seeing like the other kids get placed. And I think at that moment it made me like really competitive.
Mm.
And then, you know, my mom was always like, okay, if you win, we can go to McDonald's, you know, we can go like get breakfast. Because the competitions were always like 8, 9 a.m.
Right.
Breakfast was still on.
Yeah.
Love those sausage McMuffins, you know. So I would actually like, it became like 3rd place, 2nd place, and then 1st place. And then I had the McDonald's row. Like I had like,
No way.
I got to collect like Tarzan toys. Like it was awesome. Like that was the incentive for winning.
That was her dangling the carrot over you.
Yeah, that was, yeah, basically.
So what did the competitions like entail? Like what did you actually have to like play?
They were from like Royal Conservatory
Okay.
books, like, you know, grade 1, grade 2, stuff like that. It got to a point where it was like out of just like, they're not like from the actual books themselves. They're more like they were in more like official books, not
Right.
like not the conservatory books, you know what I mean? Like these just books of just
Sheet music.
Sheet music, yeah. So yeah, some Bach, some Beethoven, some Mozart, stuff like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's dope. So what kind of like music were you listening to growing up at that time? And like what did your mom listen to?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, my mom listened to like Elton John, Vanessa Williams, Andre Bocelli,
Nice.
Celine Dion, Josh Groban, like these kind of Enya too. Like we listened to a lot of Enya in the car.
I love Enya.
Yeah. She has a song called Amaratin. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's fantastic. But yeah, like, you know, listening to that, I think the first recollection of like music outside of classical music that I really gravitated towards was actually the Backstreet Boys,
No way.
the Millennium album. I remember I was like friends with this kid who he had this like huge stereo in his living room. We were about 3, and he showed me that Millennium album, and the first song, Larger Than Life, was playing, and like we were just dancing, like throwing our arms up in the air, like dancing like animals. And I was just thinking like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. And then it, you know, evolved into listening to like more like, you know, rock music. And when I turned 8, that's when I discovered Green Day, and it was on a whim. My aunt was visiting me from Vancouver, and we were at Walmart, and she's like, pick out anything you want in the store, like anything. And it was like anything under $10, I think. And I was looking, and I was gonna buy like some fucking Star Wars action figure, but then we were in the CD section, and there was this artwork, like the Dookie album. And for those that don't know, like the Dookie album is just this chaotic, like just so much shit going on the cover. It's like cartoonish. There's like dogs like talking and stuff.
I remember that cover.
Yeah, and it's very, very like it would just definitely attract an 8-year-old's eye, you know?
It looked like something out of a comic book.
Exactly.
It literally looked like a comic book.
It literally looked like a comic book. And I think as children, you always have these ideas of like, you know, oh, I like rock music, but I don't know where to find it. Like, I don't know like what's cool, right? And you hear something and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna hear that again, or like I just want to hear that thing, you know? But when I put that album on, I felt like, oh my God, like I have it. Like this is it. Like I don't need to listen to anything else, you know? So yeah, that was the majority of my childhood, like Green Day, and then that grew into like, you know, like other bands like
Yeah.
in that genre. But you know, like it grew into like even to this day, I'm a huge MCR fan, and my love for MCR started when I was like a kid. Like I was about 10 or 11 when I first found out about them, and I actually didn't like them at first, but then it grew on me.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I can't remember what the first song was, but I remember like the Much Music videos. Their videos were on Much Music, and then I really can't remember which one it was. But
did you watch like the Much on Demand? Like, you know, when they had the it was like that yellow screen, and they showed the bars of like what's they voted, right? It was like a voting system.
You had to like text.
Yeah.
Did you text in or call in?
I think it was
for
text.
like whatever song would come on next. I remember that, bro.
I was too young though to like have a phone to text.
I know,
so,
man. Yeah. I wish we could like go back to those days. So much,
like yes and no.
It was different.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I think like it would have been really cool to have like, because like Much Music was in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
And they'd have those like events where artists, like huge artists, like at the like just off the top, like you'd see like Fall Out Boy or like Rihanna, and they'd be there, and there'd be like it would look like the Today Show in New York, you know. So they don't have that anymore. There's nothing in this city that is like that. I'm not sure like what happened, but
it kind of all fell off.
Like
the whole thing. As soon as like Spotify and like Apple Music came out, it was just like much music just died off. But
true, I guess MTV I think maybe MTV died off, and then Much. Are they related in any way?
No, because I'm pretty sure MTV was they were focused on music first. And then Much came out. I don't know actually. So like,
oh, true.
I might be totally fucking wrong and butchering this whole story, but I think MTV like failed at doing the music shit. So they transitioned to like all kinds of stuff, like, you know, like Jackass and
right.
I shouldn't even be talking about this because I don't fully know, but
yeah.
I think that's what it was. But anyway, I digress. So would you say that like bands like Green Day like play an influence in your music now?
It's the attitude.
It's the attitude.
Okay. Nothing in the sonics translates. You know, obviously I still have a love for that music. I don't listen to it anymore really. But it's like that passion. It's like the attitude is that drew me towards them in the first place. And it's that kind of like, you know, really being yourself and really not being afraid of being yourself. Like I remember when I discovered them, you know, I was like 8, and I was listening to that stuff at school, and I'd be like talking about it, and I didn't really have many friends, but I would still talk to people that I wasn't friends with, because whatever. And they would always just like diss me for
about what?
About Green Day, and like be like, they would call them like, you know, they'd make like homophobic slurs, be like, oh, you listen to Green Day, oh, you're like a this, you're that, and like, and because they wore like eyeliner, you know, and they're like, what are you like, you know, like,
yo, that's actually crazy, because Green Day was like a big band for where I grew up in Ajax. Like everyone loved Green Day.
Sure.
So like, just you saying that, we would have been fucking friends back then if we went to the same school.
That's hilarious.
Like for sure,
life could have been so different.
So you're fully classically trained. Like how high up did you get in RCM?
Oh no. I went up to grade 10. Man,
that's insane.
You know what's crazy?
That's a long time, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I did my grade 10 when I was 12 years old. So basically, I didn't do my grade 9 exam. I went from grade 8 and I jumped to grade 10.
Just that good, eh?
I don't even know if it was that. I think it was more just like, fuck grade 9. It was just more like, okay, just because there was one more level after that called ARCT, which is like the teachers. It's like the last step. And then you can basically, it's like a master's degree basically.
Right, so then you could teach and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I did my grade 8 when I was 9 or something like that. It might have been 8. I think I was 8.
Okay.
And then when I was, I took a little break. And then when I did grade 10, I was 11 or 12. And those summers though were really long. You know, I was always practicing piano, and I don't want to ever like step down on it. Like, I actually am really happy that that was my childhood, because this is all I know. Music is literally all I know. I couldn't do, like, for me to achieve my greatest potential, it has to be through music, you know, and anything else that comes after that is a result of me succeeding in this industry, you know. Yeah, so I am grateful for my upbringing, you know. There have been times where, like, as a kid, I was really confused about, like, am I a kid? Like, because I just couldn't relate, you know, to other kids.
Why do you think that is?
I wasn't outside. Like, I wasn't, like, most kids on holiday or summer vacation, you know, they like hang with their friends or outside,
get together, play sports,
like sleepovers and stuff like that. And I was definitely, it felt like I was under a microscope. I was practicing a lot of piano, and it was either practicing piano and then like being by myself. It was like those two things. And it's kind of similar now. I think that's kind of like translated. It's like, I love being around my friends. I love being around people I love. But I do find that, like, it's my childhood and my adulthood are very much aligned. You know,
like there's some similarities.
For sure. For sure. I think that's probably most case for most people, right? Like, they probably,
more or less. Know? I guess everyone's story kind of like goes in all kinds of different directions, but I think so.
Yeah. You can tell if someone's an asshole when they're a kid, and
you could tell who was the bullies and who.
Sure, bullies are always like, they always end up in hilarious, ironic situations. You know, like,
because I remember
they end up as nobodies. You hear that? Like nobodies.
I remember getting bullied by, I'm not saying names, but there was, you know.
Say it.
There was some like
say
names.
The name.
There's some, you know, there was. Like, I had, like, a pretty, like, it wasn't a crazy large friend group, but I tended to be always the one that they would pick on within that friend group.
Me too,
Yeah, so, like, it was kind of interesting.
We would have been friends. sorry, I don't mean to, sorry.
No, it's all good. I started hanging out, once I saw that, when I started playing guitar, there was someone else that also played guitar, and, you know, I kind of started leaning towards him, and he was kind of like, he was a little bit different. He was, you know, everyone picked on him as well. And, you know, he was a year older than us, because like, he was from a different province, and like the schooling structure is slightly different. So he got held back a year, and, you know, I got bullied for hanging out with him. It's like, what the fuck? Like, just because we like music and we like playing guitar together, you're going to make fun of me? I mean, mind you, like, we don't really know what the hell we're doing when we're like 10, 11, 12. You know, you don't really know what you're doing, what you're saying, and how those actions have an impact on people in the moment and then later down on the line too. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, those people, I look at those people within that friend group and outside of that friend group that were bullies, and it's like, you know, there's a rare case where, like, maybe they changed up their life, but they're nowhere.
I think
maybe they're not doing anything of importance that I can see from afar.
Sure, and not to, you know, I'm sure there's people out there who have bullied and they were bullies and they've like changed, you know, and you know, hats off to them, and I'm sure they're really good people now, you know, and and obviously there's people that probably aren't, but like, you know, I wonder where that comes from. I wonder where like the want to bully someone, like, where does that come from? Is that because they were bullied and they need to feel like they need to?
I think it could be because of parents and like you said, from getting bullied, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was also a bully too to other people later on, right? And I think it became from, you know, trying to get that
satisfaction of like full circle kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's important to kind of like go through those phases of life. You know, getting bullied, it can have a negative impact on you, but I think if you show some like adversity, like yourself, like, it could really flip a switch on somebody.
For sure.
Right? Because it did for me. I know that, like, growing up and like going in high school too, like, that shit was not easy, you know? It's
not easy, you know, but yeah, for sure. What it's taught me is I'm not scared of anybody.
Mm.
I don't care like how much bigger you are than me. I don't care where you are in life. Like I'm not scared of anybody. And that, like, obviously, like there's other things that have contributed to that kind of mindset. But I think like if there's a couple pillars, like bullying and getting bullied is like, it's probably one of them, you know? Fuck, hats off to my bullies, bro. Like, honestly, it
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I'm
You made us stronger.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to be really scared about like sharing my ideas and like thinking creatively because it can be frowned upon. You know, it's like, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like this has no meaning. To some people.
Yeah.
You know, but to me it's everything.
I like that. All right, so what made you like quit piano?
I quit piano because I went to Western for this classical music program.
Right.
I think I just realized that I didn't love it enough. Like I didn't love classical piano enough to like practice and compete against these other people in my class because let's call a spade. Like we had these master classes where you'd have to learn 6 pieces a week memorized, you know, and these are like 6-7 pages and you're expected to play it in a way where it's like, yeah, like you played that shit like really, really well, you know? And everybody in my class seemed like they were like on that level.
Yeah.
And I didn't love it enough to sit down and practice, you know, because I was too busy listening to Yeezus. I was too busy. Like seriously, I was too busy finding myself and like getting liberated and like, you know, smoking weed and like all this shit. And thank you, OSAP. You helped me find myself.
Did you learn any other instruments along the way, or it was just piano the whole time?
Piano, cello.
Okay, cool.
Taught myself guitar.
Okay.
Actually, I had a few guitar lessons and I did not understand what was going on. Like I was so confused. And then I just took my own time and learned it myself. That was like a summer project of mine once. I played bass and drums.
Nice.
Drums, yeah. No like wind instruments, no like brass instruments. I don't think I'd be good at that. Like I tried trumpet like once and was not for me. I'm not a fan of the whole like spit valve emptying on the carpet kind of deal.
I remember that.
Like that's kind of gross, you know?
Yeah.
And you like I don't want to play an instrument that you got to wash. Like that just seems kind of nasty.
Like
why do you got to wash it? Like, because
mean,
there's spit in it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I know why, but like, I don't want to do that.
These mouthpieces be like getting moldy and shit.
Yeah, well, and for context too, like, it's not obviously when I play the piano, like sometimes the keys get dusty or whatever. You clean that,
exactly.
But
same
like,
thing.
I don't want to fucking like empty out my instrument
with like spit in it.
Yeah, that's just kind of like that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
And there's like I remember in music class there was like a line to empty out your spit valve.
I remember
like,
that shit, bro. So gross.
So gross.
You self-taught yourself most things, most of these instruments.
Not piano.
Not piano.
Not piano.
But so you're pretty like well versed. To be honest, you're probably one of the most like talented people within music that I know, just from, you know, a producer standpoint, a artist standpoint. Like we'd been in the room together and I had no idea at the time that you were classically trained, and we pulled up like a MIDI keyboard and you just started like freestyling some keys. Like I was like, I looked over, I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know this guy fucking, I had no idea. And then later on that night, you like grab the guitar and you start fucking jamming on the guitar, laying down some stuff. I'm like, the fuck can't this guy do? And then you're like singing you're like literally trying to come up with melodies, and then you start like coming up with lyrics. I'm like, dude, this guy fucking does everything. How the fuck, like, where does this all come from, you know?
Well, I mean, thank you so much for saying that, and like that really means a lot to hear. Thank you. You know, I can't do everything though. Like, you know, I actually work with quite a few people.
Yeah.
Like if you look at I'm dropping this album, you look at the credits list, there's a lot of people on it, you know, and I love working with people. I love collaborating, you know, we've worked together. I work with Dot, I work with you, I work with, you know, many producers that I'm glad to call friends as well. And I have a really good system with them as well, you know, like
Yeah.
I like to start stuff and then show them and, you know, bring it to them when it's at a nice like 70-75%.
Yeah.
Sometimes too we start ideas just from scratch.
Yeah. Like together or something. Yeah.
Together, yeah. I never want to think I'm some like know-it-all, like oh I have all the answers and everything. Like I love learning from people. I love to also share knowledge as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think any knowledge should be like I don't think I'm friends with anybody that's like gatekeepers of knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of fucked up, you know.
Yeah, you seem like you're very like open armed to people and like knowledge and stuff, and like
Yeah.
also like giving it out as well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. This is how creativity lives on, you know, and like this is how that like mindset of being brave, you know, like had Green Day never wore eyeliner and, you know, had I not been like called out for listening to Green Day when I was like a kid, maybe I wouldn't be able to put my foot down and like say this is what I stand for.
Yeah.
Or have like difficult conversations that might cause like friction or like tension between people. You know, like, I'm not afraid to do that. I just want the best end product.
Yeah.
I'll do anything, obviously with respect.
Yeah.
Towards others and myself as well, but I really just want to have the most, like the best version of a product that I can create. You know.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. I respect that a lot.
Thank you, man. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Like.
And we've I mean, like we've done shit together. You know, so we work really well together. You know, there's an understanding and the communication of like what we think can work. You know, we'll try different things and. You should never be afraid to try anything. You have all the tools in front of you. It's like, if it doesn't work, just fucking delete it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
undo. Like
we live in this digital age, right? We're not living back in like.
Imagine recording on tape,
bro. Like you wouldn't be able to like experiment as much and try new ideas and stuff because tape costs you money.
Yeah.
So like, and then you had to like edit that shit. Shit took a really long time. Where it's like, bro, you send me a voice note. And I could pop it in and we could try the idea really quickly and see if it works. And then, okay, it doesn't work or it works. Okay, cool, whatever.
That's right.
But yeah, no, we have worked together. I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you.
Oh, yeah, same.
Fucking many hours on Zoom and in person, just like, you know, getting this project and helping you with this project. It's been, man, honestly, like, has been very inspiring just because had we not worked together, I'd still listen to you. That whole process was... I think it pushed and challenged us both, like creatively and just like overall super fun. The music's very different from the shit that like I hear today. And like, it really makes me look forward to what's coming next for you creatively and like in your career overall.
Man, I don't know how many times I can say thank you without it sounding disingenuous, but like really like I means a lot to hear. We've spent a lot of hours on this, and I really do appreciate you finding the music and you know and taking the time and believing in me and I definitely have a vision, you know, and I'm really happy that and it's a pleasure working with you.
So you got the song coming out.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
That's right.
But by the time that the listeners hear it, this will be the week following.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, was it just you on that record? Just you on the production and nobody else?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I produced it and sang, wrote on it.
That was the first track we worked on together.
That's right.
Because we started talking about, okay, why don't you give me your perspective on like how we met and like then how we started working together.
So it was January 1st, 2021. I was working out in my private studio and I was working at the Cube. I was also like renting parts of the Cube out. And at the Cube, there's 2 floors. I was on the top floor and I was renting the bottom floor to 4 individuals. They stole my Apollo. They stole my interface right under my nose. I didn't hear any sound for about like 5 minutes. Like when I was upstairs, I was actually recording. Did not like at first I was like, that's weird, you know, that's just like unusual because usually it's always loud or like someone's talking.
Yeah.
And after another 5, I like just go check it and like my Apollo's gone. And as an independent artist, these interfaces they cost as much as like a MacBook. It was a horrible start to my year. I reached out to you and I was like, hey, like, you know, this person, like, I actually just got my Apollo stolen, and I saw that he fought other people too that I knew, so didn't hear good things about that either. Anyways, I mean, never got it back, but that's how we initially fucking met.
Yeah,
and
started like talking on IG, right?
started talking. That was the whole reason why we started talking, and now we're sitting here, fucking more than a year later, about to drop this shit. It's really exciting, man. It's very like I'm very excited to put this song out.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming because like I gave you a tour here at Orange, where we had officially met for like the first time. It was then where you're like, yo, like I'm like working on this project, and you know, I want to like have you mix some of it. And I was like, oh shit, like I thought you had Dot. And I was like, yeah, like I'd absolutely love to, you know, work on it. And you played me some stuff, and I was like, just fucking, I was already blown away. And like this was like early stages still of the album, right? And
I thought it was done.
Yeah, which is crazy because like evolved so much.
Yeah.
But I think it took a few more months before, you know, we started actually like working, and then we just kind of like became friends over that whole time, and it was such a creative process for me, and just like getting to know who you were as a person and as a musician, as an artist. It was like very, again, like I was just like inspired that, you know, someone with so much talent was coming to like work with me, and like we were gonna work on this project together. So yeah, I'm super excited for you and for the project to come out, because y'all have to hear these songs, man. They're beautiful.
Man, that's so kind of you to say. You know, you're very talented as well. I'm not trying to just like give you a compliment because you complimented me, but hats off to you, bro. Like it sounds the way it does because of you. You know, so
together
for sure. Yeah, it's a group effort. But definitely like I'm really happy. Overall, I think this is a really well mixed project. The songs really pop out. You know, they sound clear, they sound punchy and powerful, and they sound.
I get like edgy feelings from listening to it too.
For sure, this is not clean music. You know, so, everything sounds the way it should.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about your management at Moonbase and how that came about?
Yeah. So my management right now, I have two managers.
Yeah.
Nico and Alex. Nico, like they're both. The great thing about Nico and Alex is that, first of all, they're musicians.
Yeah.
So they understand the shit. I have worked with managers who aren't.
Yeah.
And who are, and I will always choose working with people who understand music and don't see it as like another industry they can dip their feet in.
Yeah.
You know,
so like
no disrespect, but like, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you really have to understand music. I believe Alex found me last September. I put a single out in the summer.
Breathe.
Yeah. And they found me through that. And I was just wrapping up my project, or starting to actually do this Good Karma camp.
And those guys are dope.
Yeah, man. Good Karma is everything.
Yeah.
Shout out Good Karma.
Yeah.
Shout out Moonbase. You know, without Good Karma and without Moonbase, you know, I wouldn't be able to deliver the product that I'm delivering.
Yeah.
You know, I highly believe in my shit. It's my favorite music. I'm my biggest fan, you know, and Good Karma and Moonbase have been able to really like celebrate that and channel that kind of energy.
They seem like they are really behind you and are really trying to help push your career forward.
Yeah, I think like I can't really speak for them, but I think that they really. It seems like everyone really enjoys like working on the project.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see this as my project. I see this as like, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it says Madhouse.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for, you know, my collaborators, it just wouldn't be the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, yes, the foundation was laid out by me.
Yeah.
You know, the house needs to be built, and
Yeah.
there's, you know, so
And you're like, you know, you're that roof, you know, you're kind of like at that forefront, and you've taken on that.
I see myself more as the dirt.
Okay.
The dirt and the house work together. You
Okay.
know, like without that dirt, that house is gonna sink.
Okay.
And I'm that dirt that withstands time. You
Mm.
know, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm the dirt.
So I love the analogy. You're working with Good Karma. So Good Karma is what exactly?
Good Karma is a collective of producers and writers,
Nice.
and artists, you know, and they were very generous to run a camp at their facility, and this was like at the last stage of the creative process of the album. You know,
Yeah.
we added a new song last minute, and then like, you know,
Like before it was going to mixing.
exactly before it was going to mixing, and we were, you know, replaying the songs all the time and trying to think about, okay, what can we do here? What can we do there? Let's try different versions of the drums. Let's try different versions of the vocal processing.
Yeah.
You know, so just a lot of just trying things. It was a workshop, you know, and a lot of beautiful things came out of that.
Nice.
And I've definitely found myself feeling more confident after,
Yeah.
because I got to work with people that I look up to,
Yeah.
and these people were really validating my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't seek validation. I
Mhm.
don't like thrive off of that, but when it's people that you look up to in such a competitive industry
Yeah.
that are like, you know, giving you your flowers, giving you their time, it's so rewarding. You know, it helps me like walk with my head held high.
Mm.
You know, so like I feel like I'm in a position now where people trust me. Like, the people that I work with don't question like my creative abilities. They don't question my vision. They don't question, like, I don't need to be questioned.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You kind of
Yeah.
know what you want, and they're behind that decision as well.
That's right.
So that's super dope. I started learning who Good Karma was just through you.
Yeah.
And yeah, they seem like they're all like nice, dope people to be around.
Very beautiful people. Yes. You know, Cure was the one that extended that olive branch of like wanting to invite me to do this workshop, you
Mhm.
know, and this camp. And we met when I was at the Cube. He was a neighbor of mine.
Oh, okay.
I heard of him before, just through like Instagram and stuff like that, but we never met.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met one time. I think the first time we met, yeah, it was the first time. I wanted to show him my cube, you know, and like he got us some coffee, and we were sitting, and he like, "Yo, play me some music." So I showed him What the Fuck, like a really early version of it.
Mm.
And then the first thing he asked like, "You want to write for Post Malone? Like there's like a Post Malone camp happening." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Unfortunately the scheduling never worked out, but you know, he asked me to play him some other shit. So I played him like some stuff and some stuff that will never be released.
Mm.
And he was like, you know, you can do better. He was trying to tell me like, if you want to be here for longevity, if you want to be that household name you want to be, like you have to come differently, you know? You
Mm.
have to be more brave. You have to take more creative risks.
Yeah.
Why don't you just make the music you want to make? You know, don't listen to like what people are trying to tell you to make.
Yeah.
Because I felt I was definitely doing that for some time,
Right.
you know? And no disrespect to those people either, because those people definitely helped me as well.
Yeah.
But I think for longevity's sake and for my mental health, I need to be making stuff that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
And I feel proud to put my name behind. Because if I'm not proud to put my name on that, why would the other people that are working on it want to give their 100 and feel proud, you know?
Exactly.
And it's very easy to tell when people are proud of their work.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to be. I just want to be proud of my work, bro.
That's
like,
dope.
yeah.
That's super dope. Really like how you kind of spoke on like a lot of different things there. Have you thought about performing since things have started opening back up?
Yeah, I did that performance at Velvet Underground about like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
And how was that?
Time of my life. Time of my life. That's
Yeah.
where I want to be forever. I performing for me is like, it's like when boxers and MMA fighters go fight. Like that's what it is. And when I'm, I was opening for Tobias, and most of the people there were like obviously there for Tobias.
Yeah.
And I obviously had to do my best to like hype them up.
Yeah.
I also wanted to like walk out of there with like new fans.
Yeah.
So I love doing that.
Yeah.
It's like I loved selling myself in the most organic, natural way possible.
Yeah.
Because
it's so raw. There's no filter there.
There's no filter. I felt bad because I was like saying like the F word a lot, and there was like kids and like I noticed some parents. I was like, shit. But like when you're up there, you can't stop. Like you can't help yourself from saying these things. It's it's so unfiltered.
Yeah.
It's actually like a little scary and like, oh fuck, I hope I don't like just go all crazy and like go animalistic and I at the same time I want to give a good performance. I think what I'm working on right now is like understanding that you can't always go crazy on stage like movement wise, because like you have to focus on the vocals. And when I'm recording at home or at the studio, I'm still I'm sitting or I'm standing, I'm not moving around at all. But when I'm performing, I like want to like just let loose and like jump up, and that stuff actually affects your vocal performance. So that's like what I'm working on, and
is like how much energy can I exert, and can I still hit those notes, and like
I think it's a fitness thing too. I've been working a lot on my cardio, been boxing every day.
Nice.
So that has really helped. Also in-ear monitors. Gotta get those. So yeah, but no, sorry, to answer your question, I would love to perform. I would love to.
I'm so sorry I missed that show. It looked like it was a fucking blast.
That's okay. Man. That's okay. There's always gonna be more. It was a blast for sure. Like,
so that was your first time performing since
COVID.
Since COVID. So have you performed live prior?
Yeah. Previous to COVID, I did like there was like we did a free show at Queen and Spadina. In November 2019. It was like a sold out show. It was free, but I was doing it with a friend at the time, and we both performed.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to your next shows, and trying to make it out there, and see you up there and support you, and like just as a fan, like
thank you, man. Like, appreciate that.
You sent me some videos, and I asked you like how the show went, and you're like, dude, I had like time of my fucking life up there, and like, like from my perspective, it, and like I was talking to Mamek about this, and I like we kind of spoke on it earlier too before we hopped on, but it was just like, I look at those videos that you had sent and like some of the IG stories, I'm like, dude, this guy is fucking born to perform and be an artist. Like I could literally, like I can see it, like it's right there in front of my eyes. It's like it seems like that is your like natural instinct to like get up on stage and perform for people.
Thank you. I mean that's a crazy thing to just like hear in general. It's very kind. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do anything if I didn't believe in myself. Like, if I didn't believe that I could do this shit, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't do this, But I genuinely believe, like, I can make music. I can perform. I'm going to get better, I'll always get better. And I'll get better after that, The race never ends. The marathon never ends. I feel very, very comfortable up there. I used to be terrified to perform as a kid, like, terrified, and thankfully all that like the nerves exited my system. I think there's like obviously when before performing a show, like it's tense. It's tense
for sure.
I was like shadow boxing backstage, like seriously, like actually there's a thing now, like my manager Alex, like he's got some like interest in boxing too, so we were like joking, like he get some pads, and like I'm not gonna hit the pads before I go on stage. Seriously, like it hypes me up, like it gets me like gets the blood flowing, just a couple 1-2s here and there, some hooks and shit. I'm good. Like,
straight up, I would never be able to like do what you do on stage. Like, there's no way, or it'd take like a long time for me to get there.
But it's taken me a long time.
Like, so how did you overcome those nerves to get to where you are now, where you are feeling comfortable to say that?
I think delusion And I think delusion. Seriously, I think like delusion is a big part. It's like delusion, bravery. Okay, not bravery. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound like some fucking like. I gotta survive, bro.
Yeah.
This is my survive. Like
Well,
my album is about survival.
Yeah.
I want to do the best job possible. I want to present the best work possible.
Yeah.
And I gotta come correct. You
Yeah.
know, I have a duty as an artist to influence positively and bring the best out of people.
Yeah.
That's what like music, movies, TV shows, even fucking food.
Yeah.
You know, any art form, like that's a huge part of it. You know, you want to inspire no matter what, even if it's like horror film or something just so like out of the, you know, like
Yeah.
it will influence somebody in some way or another.
Yeah.
So that's like the duty I think you have as an artist, and showing people like I think that's a big part of it. You know, obviously like performing as a kid, they would ask me to perform at school,
Yeah.
like at these like church services we had, and the whole school was there, like literally like everybody. And our school
Yeah,
had like,
it's like
400, 500 people.
Yeah.
So
It's not a small crowd.
it's not a small crowd, but it is a small crowd in the sense that everybody knows what you do.
Yeah.
So that was the terrifying thing for me. And I think what I understood is like most people at that school probably thought I was some like weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
Performing in front of people that like I knew hated me and like overcoming that.
Who wanted to see you fucking fail.
They wanted me to see me fail and I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
And now where I'm like, okay, if I'm performing for these people, I'm gonna think like, all right, I'm either coming at them from a neutral standpoint or like they already are there to like enjoy the music. They already know it. So I think a lot of that, like just that experience of performing for people that, you know, I was like maybe intimidated by or scared of or whatever, like, yeah, that really helped.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the love of music and the love of like bro, like I've lost myself in this art. I've lost myself in the music. Like I've lost my sense of feeling embarrassed. How could I feel embarrassed on stage? That's my livelihood. That's everything I live for, you know?
Yeah.
Even on music video sets, same thing. The process of getting ready for it, like it's brutal because like you want to look your best. You want to like, obviously it's video. It's like footage. It's archived on the internet.
Yeah. It's like you have this, you know, you have this vision of how you want to represent yourself and how you want people to see you as. So
Sure, yeah.
it's like, yeah, for sure. You know, so a lot of thought has to go into that.
Yes.
And it is still you being you, but it's you performing at the highest level, being that creative.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, I think it's a lot different than someone tying up their laces for a hockey game, right? And performing.
Definitely like an NHL player in comparison to someone who's like an independent artist.
Yeah.
It's different because the NHL player
Like-
like relies on like other players. But I think there are similarities between like artists and athletes.
Yeah.
There's a dedication that you must
Yeah.
stick by. Like you can't be fucking going out all the time, you know, and you can't be like, you know, damaging your body in certain ways and like you know, allowing the right kind of energy in your life.
Yeah.
You know, I had a funny conversation with my mom once. She was, cause like, you know, it's just me and her growing up. And she was saying, you know, maybe it's like good that you didn't have a lot of family, because if you did, then you'd have to go to all these functions and you wouldn't be able to like do music, or like, you know, you'd always have to, you have these responsibilities to attend to. You'd be a good this, good that. And I'm like, wow, that's very like I can't believe you just said that, because that's a very like outside the box kind of, you know. And she has those moments where she like says these like sleeper agent kind of things, like she just wakes up from her, you know, and she like says these things that are like, whoa, like you just said that, and then like revert back to, you know, to mom, you know.
Yeah, performing in general is just like, it's an art form in itself. It's
It
outside
is.
of like creating the music. It's like,
Yeah.
well, now you have to perform that piece of music that you created live for people who, you know, you're trying to gain their trust. You're also serving the people that are there to see you.
It's an extension.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I have a lot of respect for people that, especially like the independent artists, like, you know, trying to grow their brand and grow their career, because that shit is not easy to get up in front of people you have no idea who they are and perform.
I actually have more fear of posting on social media than performing in real life.
That's wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me, because I would think it would be like the opposite, because you have the ability to like hide behind your phone,
Yeah.
right? Versus in, performing live, it's like we talked about, it's like not having that filter. Like there is no filter there. Like there's no cutting and editing, nothing.
Yeah.
There's only where they're standing to where you're up on stage. That's what they see.
I think I have so much confidence in music that like nothing can really like scare me.
Right.
In that, but like when it comes to stuff like social media, it's like, okay, you're not just perceiving my music, you're perceiving me. You're perceiving the way I look and all these things. And, I would be very, very happy, like just hiding in the back somewhere. Like, I'm that's when I'm at my, like, I love doing that. I love like being very low key,
Yeah.
I love being a homebody. And it's like, if I haven't had another life, and if I was music again, like if I was doing some admin stuff or a manager,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have a social media account.
Mm.
Probably be like not on the internet,
Yeah.
aside from emails and shit. But yeah, I think like the social media thing is just like I'm getting better at feeling comfortable, and I think like what it is like I don't like to post on social media without like a purpose.
Mm.
And when I have my music released, it's like, okay, like that's like what I live for.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around this shit. So, they're obviously in downtime, like I feel uncomfortable, like, oh shit, I should be posting, like, but it's crazy because like when I dropped What the Fuck, it felt like the response for it was like bigger than other songs that I put in the past, but I've been away for so long.
I think that just goes to show you that, people have their eyes on you, regardless if you're posting or not. It's like,
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that because you are very talented and, people are eager to hear your music. So
That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It just shows that like you have true fans literally sitting, waiting for you to drop.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you might not be like the biggest artist, but that right there should just tell you that, yeah, I have real fucking fans that are literally waiting for me. And I think what you've done is you've deprived them for so long that, because when was the last drop? Prior to What the Fuck? It was Breathe last year, right?
I think it was September or August or September. Yeah.
So it's been, give or take, like what, 8 months, 9 months?
Yeah, and then prior to Happiness, Dawn on Me came out in September of 2020, with Happiness coming out May of 2021. So that's also a gap. That's like 4 months right there, or 8 months.
Yeah.
So like 2 8-month breaks.
Yeah.
And then like a break in between May and September of not putting anything out, you know? So that's a very long time, And I recognize that probably not everybody gets to do that.
Yeah.
I feel very privileged to be able to have that luxury of like, okay, maybe I don't have to worry about like taking my time, because you want this shit to have impact.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it it's not intentional. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm just sitting on this, like waiting, This is actually how long it took to put this out and to really find my voice and to, like, I truly believe the things I'm writing about and singing about. So it took some time. You really only have one shot. You know what I mean? And the one shot is like, look at the whole career. It's not just like one song, one album. It's like, I do this shit at the end of the day for myself, self-expression, but I also want to have a legendary career. And I believe I've put myself on a path to obtain that.
What are some of like the difficulties you face as an independent artist? And then how have you overcome them?
Well, I think there's resources.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to money, I think as an artist, obviously like that and like my personal life are always like going to be like interwoven, and I want to take care of like my family. I want to take care of like the people who are around me, and I think like I'm not able to do that yet. Like I'm not able to really provide how I want to provide. That's obviously like a work in progress, and it feels like has been like obviously because it's no secret like if you're an independent artist in music or just an artist in general, like it doesn't have to be independent, like probably not making a lot of money. Like even if you're signed
Yeah.
like to Canadian labels or whatever, like you're probably not.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, Toronto is a very like it's like ground zero. Like it's a place to get really good at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta like branch out to other places.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of like, you know, like branching out and I think it's like timing is everything, you know. I have this album coming out. I'm gonna be able to, you know, promote the fuck out of it for the whole next year. And I wanna be able to like go from place to place with my drugs and show people, hey, these are my drugs. Like, you know, like like literally like the guy with the coat, you know, with like
opens up.
He opens up like these are my, you know what I mean? Like I want to be like, I don't want to be that guy because he's a snake oil salesman, but like just in that like sense that like okay, like
what do you want? Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel sad? Do you want to feel this way?
I think it's also like yo, like I there's people that I want to work with that won't give me the time of day. That's a struggle. It's like there's people that I want to work with that just don't know me because of my lack of like accolades or like certain social media numbers and stuff like that. And it's definitely a numbers game. Obviously, if two people hit you up,
yeah,
one person has 50,000 followers and the other person has like under 2,000 followers, the general person, like what do you think they would gravitate towards to?
I mean, obviously, yeah, the general person, I mean, it's going to vary from person to person.
It is.
My answer is going to be very different, but
it is a situational thing.
Yeah, so numbers do matter, and I see, you know, because I'm looking, if I'm the general person, you know, or even as myself too, I would look at, you know, the guy who's got 50K versus the guy who's got 2K. You know, I'm looking at what is also going to help me in my career, right? I also feel like there should be a value of exchange there should too.
Be. Yes,
so
yes.
They say don't study the person you look up to, study the person that they looked up to, right? Study their influences and you'll get a much better understanding of who they were, right? So
that's a good point.
We're kind of like opening this Pandora's box here where you're probably going to inspire someone else and them hearing you say that, you know, I want to work with Mike Dean. You know, they might not know who Mike Dean is. Now they're going to go listen to Mike Dean and boom, you're triggering out like this next thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So like, I'm not afraid to say it just because I'm personally like just super open about, you know.
I am too. I think it's just like, you know, having fanboys like in sessions, like it's just like, it's very, very like,
it's annoying.
It's annoying and it's very like, it's not like, great. It's not great. You actually feel like worse about yourself for some reason. I don't know why, but like, I always feel very uncomfortable when that happens.
You can't be starstruck by people, and it's hard not to be at certain points, but these are people too, and you have to respect their space and, you know, respect their energy too, because yeah, it's cool that you're into, you know, what I do, but they've heard it a million times. They've heard it so much, even if like, even for yourself, like you may not have heard it as much as someone else, but like, you know, it does kind of get annoying and like you don't fully understand like what their intention might be either.
Exactly, because most of those times when these people are like fanboying, it's like obviously like there's been situations where it's worked out, you know, and genuine people have reached out to me because of that. But it's also like people just seeing you as their next opportunity. Yeah. You know, and it's almost like you're doing the A&Ring for them because you just released a song.
Yeah.
All they had to do was like check Instagram and see other people's stories, you know? No disrespect to the A&Rs of today, but like artists really help A&Rs. Yeah. Obviously A&Rs help artists too. Yeah. It's like two-way street.
The A&R, their livelihood depends on the success of their artist, right?
Sure.
So
I think there's a danger too when there's like an A&R has too many artists that they're like looking at,
or too many eggs in one basket on that one artist.
Yeah, of course. It has to be a balance. Yeah. However, if I was managing a few artists, And if there was an artist that I would manage that I'm like, they're the next Michael Jackson, they're the next Weekend or whatever, like I would drop everyone else. And yeah, man, you have to be competent. You have to be sharp. You have
Right.
to, you can't make errors
Yeah.
in some of these things because like livelihoods are at stake. Like at the end of the day, if I was a manager, that art is like, it belongs to like the world when it's released, but it is also someone else's like livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, so there has to be a two-way street, you know. Artists and managers have to respect each other.
Yeah.
Artists and A&Rs have to respect each other. Everyone has to respect each other. Just fucking respect each other.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
We talk about it all the time on the podcast, like how you
Yeah.
know how cutthroat this industry is, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, the people that are open and do give a helping hand and, you know, truly care about the shit, it's like you actually see them catapult past everybody else who's more scarce and more gatekeeping. And it's like I see it all the time. It's happened for myself, it's happened for all my peers. You know, I see other people and like they are a little bit more reserved, and there's a whole thing about like being accessible, which I also understand too. But like you said, it's about like having respect, being grateful for your current situation and the things that led you to get to where you are will help you continue down your path, as well as this grind never stops, and you have to be patient, but you got to, you know, keep working hard, and you got to put your head down and get the fucking work done. A&Rs, and I can't speak too much about it because, you know, I'm still learning as I go too. So I don't know everything. I'm just giving my input from what I see right now, and sharing whatever knowledge I do know, just from my own perspective.
I mean, it would make sense, obviously, you know, like you're more on the engineering side.
Yeah. But like I'm in the room with...
You're in the room with A&Rs.
I am in the room with them sometimes.
And what are they doing? What are they doing? Are they on their phones? Because like, if you're in the studio, please show that you want to be there.
Yeah.
Don't be there if you're just gonna fucking look at your phone. Like, it's actually like you're distracting me, because that is a temple. There's energy floating all around the room, and you are like that Wi-Fi stopper.
It's like a break in the signal.
It is a break in the signal, and I'm very sensitive to that stuff, because it's like, what are you doing?
Being on your phone is, you know, you're disengaged from real life.
Disengaged from real life.
Like you're literally unplugging from real life.
And I'm saying this because I've literally had people in the studio who have no musical background who really wanted to be there and really like were excited, and like sometimes they'd like say out of pocket things that like you don't want to hear, but like I'd much rather invite you than someone that's just gonna like chill and on your phone and just a little weird to me. That's all.
Any final like thoughts or like things you want to like conclude on?
Been eating pretty healthy recently.
Nice. Okay.
Been doing this like sauceless kind of pasta deal.
Okay.
Just put some like, you know, some grated like Parmesan on it, and like you don't even need any salt. Okay, a little bit, because that's kind of nasty, like just in the noodles. But like the cheese acts as a salt, you know, so you don't need any extra salt.
Okay. So you've been like cooking and just trying to
I cook every day.
Eat healthy and stuff now?
I cook every day, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
The only time I like don't cook is like go on a McDonald's. Is
that your guilty pleasure?
Of course. It's crazy. Everywhere I've lived, there's always a McDonald's down the street. Like, and I don't even do any research. Like, oh, there has to be a McDonald's. Like, no, it's always there.
Yeah. Everything in life is balance, right? So like, you know, so long as, you know, because I'm on like a nice health kick right now too, and just trying to take care of myself and be able to perform myself, like when I go to do mixing and, you know, this podcast and stuff like that. You know, it's like, it's okay every once in a while, so long as you're like consistent and stuff. Like, yeah, it's okay, because like you, I'm a fat kid at heart too. Bro, I love food. I love
food. I will eat a whole pizza to my face, like a large Pizza Hut pizza with double cheese, double pepperoni to my face. But then like the next day I'll like just fucking box it out.
Yeah,
like,
you fucking regret it.
Yeah, but like yes, but I realize like, okay, as long as you're like active, and this is such a degenerate mindset, but like as long as you're active, doing cardio related activities, you know, like, and eating like shit, like I guess it kind of balances it out. Like, it's better than like eating shit and like not doing anything about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
exactly. All right, bro.
get these guys out of here.
Let's wrap this shit up. So, where can people find you? And
Enter Madhouse.com.
Enter Madhouse.com.
Yeah.
What about socials?
Yes, Madhouse on IG. Yes, Madhouse on Twitter. Yeah, find me on Spotify. Find me on Apple Music.
Madhouse.
Find me everywhere. Yeah, everywhere you listen to music.
Yeah, and when's the project coming out after this next single?
We're dropping it first week of September. We're dropping the third single in August, and
Nice.
then yeah.
Okay, dope. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for us to share this project with the world. So let's fucking get it.
Yeah.
And, thank you for coming on to the show.
Man, thank you for having me.
The Behind the Sound podcast was recorded at the Orange Lounge Recording Studio, located downtown Toronto.